Now, the 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Brought to you by TireOutlet.com. Wholesale prices, premium service.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
Let's go. Yeah. Little 10-minute drill right here with Lauren Brooks. Jeff Prosser on vacation today. Much needed, much deserved. Excuse me. Lauren, are you ready to play the 10-minute drill?
Absolutely.
All right, let me start with this. I'll ask you a question right off the bat.
Right out of the gate.
Jacksonville Jaguars 3-2 are off to Texas, the Big D, and I do mean Dallas. What are the keys to victory for the Jaguars on Sunday at 4:25?
Well, Dan, Ezekiel Elliott, I think, is the biggest threat that the Cowboys have. So if Marcel Darius and Malik Jackson can continue to have a good game, then I think if the Jaguars stop the run, they limit the biggest threat. I don't love the receivers for the Cowboys. And then I think mainly...
Nor should you.
Right. And
Yeah.
then mainly the Jaguars cannot, especially Blake Bortles, cannot turn the ball over. We're not seeing them protecting the football as well as we'd like. I understand there's been, lots of different formations for this offensive line, different changes with all these injuries. But at the same time, they got to figure it out. And he cannot make those types of mistakes again.
Fair enough. Good point. You want to win football games, you can't be -7 in turnovers. You're -7. It's really amazing the Jaguars are 3-2, but their turnovers have come in bunches, but they cannot continue to occur. I absolutely agree with you. If you turn the ball over, you're going to lose in the NFL, and that doesn't drive anyone more crazy than it does the Godfather. So that nonsense has got to stop. If you're a championship team, if you're even a playoff team, you don't turn the ball over, and that's a lack of intestinal force. You can't turn the ball over, so just knock that off. Knock it off.
The Jaguars started flat against the Chiefs. Any chance that repeats, especially the defense?
It's interesting, too. The Jags have played their two best games, and they did this last year as well. They have initial drives that result in points, at least field goals and such. If you go back and look at their successes, when they get the ball and they go down the field to start, they usually do very well in those games. I hate to draw that correlation because I don't think all the pressure in the world should be on that first drive, but what shocked me last week was how poorly the defense played on those first two drives. They had a 10-play drive and a 14-play drive and resulted in a 10-0 lead. And that you don't want to be behind the 8 ball like that against anybody. I think the magic number is 20 with the Cowboys. I think if the Jags offense can get to 20, and maybe they need help from the defense, maybe not. But if they can get to 20, I think they'll be victorious.
It is inexcusable that in Week 5, the Jaguars came out flat. You are talking about the biggest matchup in all of the NFL that day with the number one offense going against the number one defense. And you come out and they're really talented and that Mahomes has never lost and you come out flat. How is that even possible? That's like you coming into radio and being flat. That's inexcusable.
You're
unacceptable.
Right. You got to bring the passion. You got to do it each and every time you have a game. If you don't, what's the point? Listen, other NFL news, the New York Football Giants are done. And I try not to be bothered by people, but I'm bothered by Odell Beckham Jr. More antics last night. He talked about, he's learning how to be a leader. He did that terrible interview where he said it was hard to say if he was happy in New York after he was given a $95 million contract, which just rubs me the wrong way, so much so. But last night, again, the Giants going to halftime, he walked off the field and went into the locker room.
Apparently, he needed IV.
Yeah, whatever.
That's the story.
Yeah, one snap to stay out there. It rubs me the wrong way. That's team dysfunction. Saquon Barkley, the only bright spot. But this is clearly, I think we're at the end of the New York Football Giants, who were horrible last year and are going to be horrible this year. What do you think about Eli Manning, the Giants, Odell Beckham Jr., and a bright spot is Saquon Barkley?
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned last segment, should the Giants have taken a quarterback? I think the answer is yes. Yes, Saquon Barkley is really good, but look, he put up 229 yards from scrimmage, and they still lost the football game, and not just lost, but they were destroyed. Look, Odell, this is the problem when you do pay a guy who thinks he's, a little bigger than his britches. He had 6 catches, 44 yards last night, no touchdowns.
Yeah.
How is that doing you any good? And then last week you saw the antics of Sterling Shepard, the other wide receiver on the sidelines.
Yeah.
That team is broken. Their offensive line is garbage. Like you said, the Giants are going nowhere. And that's the one thing that makes me a little bit more nervous about Jaguars-Cowboys is the Cowboys look up and go, wait a minute, we can stay on pace with the Eagles in this division if we beat the Jaguars.
Well, there's a lot at stake for the Cowboys. I mean, they're kind of on the brink too. And if they mess around there and lose and fall to 2-4, they're going to be in trouble. They're already saying, look, Eli ain't getting his $23 million next year. They're going to draft a quarterback, and that'll be the end of Eli Manning.
Yeah.
So,
would you pay Eli $23 million? No.
I think he's getting a little bit of a raw deal, just in the respect of he seems to be getting all the blame on it. But anyway, he's struggling. There's no doubt.
How much Jamal Charles will we see on Sunday against the Cowboys?
Good question. I think Jamal Charles is on the field for at least 25 snaps. I think the ball's in his hands at least 5 times. I think it has to be. T.J. Yeldon played 70-plus snaps last week.
77, I think.
How many?
77.
Yeah, that's too many. You can't do that. So Jamal Charles there's nobody else. Jamal Charles has to be on the football field for the Jaguars. They don't have to give him the ball every time he's on the field. But, I'd swing him a couple passes. See what he's got. I'd run a draw play with him or two, maybe pitch it out to him, and try to use one thing Jamal Charles has always had is moves and speed. I want to get him in space and see if he can, make a guy miss and pick up 12 yards. And if he can do that, that'll help as well. There could be, I would hope there's 40 to 60 yards with Jamal Charles. And if I can get 40 to 60 out of him and 50 out of Blake's running, then we're on our way, baby. Then we got good things happening. So I got to think they have a plan for Jamal Charles. And everybody talked about what good shapes he is in. So, yeah, use him. You got him. Use him.
Well, and Jaguars linebacker Telvin Smith certainly was.
Shut you down!
Maybe not raving about him, but he said, the first move Charles made, he was impressed with it. And so at least you are hearing good things. Not that Smith's going to go, oh, man, he doesn't look very good, right? Of course he's going to say he likes what he sees. But I do like the fact that Smith is a faster linebacker, and he thought Charles still looked speedy.
Gators go to Nashville tomorrow. Any chance of a letdown? Any chance that this is a nail-biter in the fourth quarter against a team with an experienced quarterback on the road? Yes, sir, and an early start.
Any
or nay?
Yeah. Absolutely, there's a
Oh,
chance.
boy.
I mean, we talked about how Vanderbilt played Notre Dame really close. They only lost by 5
Oh, gosh.
in South Bend.
Oh, no.
The Gators don't usually play well with those early starts.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and it's the last game Florida will play outside of the state of Florida.
Oh, brother.
I do think it's a dangerous letdown game after, the last few weeks have been all games where Florida had to get up at Tennessee, at Mississippi State, and then home against LSU. Vanderbilt is not a terrible football team.
Oh, heavens.
So, yeah, I do think it can get dangerous. The one thing I'll go back to is head coach Dan Mullen knows how to put his team, and I really like defensive coordinator Todd Grantham. They know how to put their team into positive situations. So I don't think Vanderbilt's going to be able to block Florida's defensive line. And overall, I think Florida's talent outshines Vanderbilt. Florida gets the win, but I do think it's sticky.
Listen.
What's that noise?
That's a kitty.
Oh, it's a kitty cat?
Yeah, I just want you to remember this now. As Florida has played Vanderbilt, I think Florida beat them 22 times in a row.
That is correct, Dan. And then lost in that wonderful year of 2013.
2013?
At home.
Yes.
Yes.
And then haven't lost to them since, right?
That's correct.
So 14, 15, 16, 17, 4 more. So that's 26-1 in their last 27 against Vandy. Gotta like those odds, huh? You gotta like those odds. So anyway, that's the 10-minute drill. Now, Beef, do we have a giveaway? Thank you very much.
We do, Dan. I'll take caller number 5 as it's the 5th day of the week.
Okay.
At 641-1010.
All right.
And one lucky Guggen's going to get a floral arrangement with delivery from our friends at Kuhn Flowers.
Yes,
plus
sir.
a pair of tickets to the Anheuser-Busch Oktoberfest.
Wow.
That's tonight and tomorrow.
Take care of your lady friend and give her some flowers, and everybody's happy. That's the 10-minute drill. And when we come back,
I'm nervous.
time to put our money where our mouth is. It's the Friday 5-pack. Without Jeff Prosser, but his picks are in. We'll review those after we make our picks. Next on the drill.